Hello chat, welcome back to Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. Now you'll see here that we're starting at the very end of a level here, because when I was recording the gameplay section for this, like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was, my dumbass forgot to hit record for one of the levels, I think. Or maybe it was multiple levels, I don't even know. I can't remember where we were at the last time. I think I might have skipped multiple levels. Uh-oh, sorry. But, here we are now. And, this is happening. Oh yeah, this is happening! Now, here's the thing. I am, suffering worse than I was the last time you heard from me. But, well, not by much, actually. Not by very much. But yesterday, the day that I didn't record an episode, that's when the suffering was at its highest. And allow me to tell you why. Allow me to tell you why. You see... Hold on, let me just fix my audio here. Okay. There we go, should be good. So, the day before... As of recording this, right? The day before yesterday was when I recorded the last one, and when you saw the last one. I think, anyways. Hold on. What day is it? Yeah, I worked on that day, and then I called off that day, and then... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yes! Excuse me. 2 days ago is when you saw the last episode and when I recorded the last episode. Yesterday, did not record one, did not upload one. Today, am doing so. And let's talk about what happened yesterday, because boy, is there shit to talk about. Specifically, for those of you who have not seen the last episode, then this is going to be confusing to you, but for those of you who have, let's just say the tooth shit and the swelling, it progressed. It progressed heavily. So much so that I woke up on Saturday. Because here's part that we need to explain that I didn't get to. Friday, right? I was just waiting for my dad to get home from work so that he could drive me to urgent care, he could get this looked at, and, you know, maybe some shit could be done about it, right? So I was waiting. I wasn't taking any drugs. I didn't take nothing. And I mean nothing. For about 10 hours, right? 10 hours, I'd say. I took nothing. My face was swollen, just like I said in that video. And what I didn't say in that video, because it hadn't really hit at that point, it only hit after the fact, the tooth pain part of the whole thing, it came back. And it came back harder than it had ever been. And it was, I want to say, probably pretty accurately the most painful experience I've ever had in my life. Because I went for 10 hours without any medication, because that's how long I was waiting for my dad to get home from work. Which, you know, it is what it is, I don't care, but I'm just saying, that was painful. Tooth pain for 10 hours, unmedicated. That was painful. So he gets home from work finally. We go to urgent care. Now, urgent care, the one that we go to, it just so happens to be closing very shortly as we get there. So they're like, well, we can't take you in. We have all of our things booked up. We're very sorry. We can't take you in. But there's another urgent care down the street, and they're open till 8, right? They're open for another 2 hours, so they'll take you in. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I understand, no problem. So we'll just go there. Everything will be fine. I do that. We go there. We go there to that urgent care, and oh boy. I make it sound like it was like a war story, but it wasn't. The war story comes later. The war story comes the next day, which is the day you weren't here for, in terms of... That's when the war story comes. Now, Uh, so we go to that urgent care that they're speaking of, the other one. And I go and what do I do? I'm sorry, I'm distracted by my gameplay here. We go in, right? There's nobody in the office. The parking lot, there's only one single car. And I mean literally one single car, which tells me either that's a patient's car and there's one patient, but then, like I said, we go in the office, there's nobody there. So it's either not a patient's car and it's instead an employee's car, or it is a patient's car and they're currently being seen, which is why they're not in the back. Right? So it's like, oh great, they're not busy at all. They're open for another 2 hours, so they're not busy at all. Like, at all. They've got nothing. They got no one. They've either got one person or they have no one. Right? Right. Now, I'm waiting at this receptionist desk for 2 minutes. I can hear girls talking in the back, just chit-chatting it up, and I'm just waiting for someone to notice that I am here, and I'm just standing there and no one's showing up, and then eventually someone does show up. And they say, you know, why are you here today? And I say, you know, I got this face swelling and my teeth are... And before I could even finish my sentence, they're like, have you ever been a patient with us before? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And she sighs. She like full on goes like that, right? So right there, I was like, ooh, you know, like my impression right there was already pretty bad of this woman. So she sighs, and then she gives me some paperwork that I have to fill out because I had never been a patient there before, right? I'm like, okay, cool, fine, you know, whatever. Filling out, I've done that before. It's paperwork. It's fucking, so what? We can do that. But I go to sit down to fill out this paperwork, and she's like, you could just come on right back, because there's no one here, as I figured. There's no one there. There's no patient. So that one car must have been an employee's, even though there's more than one people, unless they were taking a carpool. I don't know, maybe they were. But regardless of that, there's no patients here. I am the only one there. The only one there. As far as I know of, still. I could be wrong. There could have maybe been someone else there, but as far as I know of, I was the only person there at that time. But anyway, she says you could just come on right back, get in one of these offices here, and you could fill out the paperwork while you're in there. And I'm like, well, shit, alright. You know, convenient, I guess. No problem. And I do that. And then I get in that office, I sit in that little, you know, chair, the chair with the paper on it. And I start to fill this shit out. And then not even 5 seconds pass by, I haven't even wrote my address down yet. And knock, 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 doctor comes in, right? I haven't had any time to fill out this paperwork, but I'm like, alright, cool, whatever, no problem. We'll fill it out eventually. And she's like, yeah, you can fill that out while we're talking, if you want to. If you can. You know, it's no big deal. Alright, whatever. And she asked me what's going on, you know, when did this start, how did it... So I explained to her everything. And I say, hey, woke up with, you know, Friday, had tooth pain. Tried to deal with it myself, thought it would be fine. You know, Saturday, wake up, extreme intense swelling. This tooth pain is also pretty bad. And that's where we are now, right? And she doesn't, throughout the course of this whole thing, they never tell me what it could be. Which I'm assuming because they don't know, they can't, you know, they cannot identify something with any sort of accuracy. If they, you know, if they don't know, then they can't identify it. They can't just say, hey, it could be this, because if they're wrong, then, you know. But, point aside. I tell her what's going on. I tell her, hey, you know, this is all that's been happening, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, that's fine. We're going to get you some medications, right? I'm going to give you 3 things. We're going to give you penicillin, we're going to give you lidocaine, and then there was another thing she said that I don't remember, and I'll tell you why. We'll get on to the fact as to why I don't remember later. It's whatever. But, yeah. Penicillin, lidocaine, and then some other thing. I'm like, okay, cool. And she says, because it's like 6 o'clock at this point, so I don't know what pharmacies are open. So she asked me what pharmacy I use, and I say, well, I normally use this one, but I think they're closed right now. What about this one over here? Do you know if they're open? And she says, no, they just closed a couple minutes ago. And I'm like, oh, damn. Well, I guess, can you just send it over to this one, and then I'll have to pick it up tomorrow, right? And she's like, okay, that's fine. But then I also say, hey, is there any way you could just give me something for today? Like, just something to make the pain go away, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fall asleep with it like this. So if you could just give me something for today, and then tomorrow I'll pick the rest of that stuff up. And she's like, yeah, no problem. We'll get you a shot of Tetramol. Was that the name? Actually, I wrote it. No, Toradol is what it was. Toradol. We'll get you a shot of Toradol. Very strong painkiller, and you should be good and fine, right? Like, cool, sweet. She goes to get the shot of Toradol. I'm filling out this paperwork. Finally, I've got started on my address written down here. And then I hear something. I hear mumbling in the background, because the door's closed, so it's kind of, you know, muffled a bit. I hear the receptionist lady that was, you know, I was waiting on for so long before. I hear the receptionist lady, I hear a couple of other girls. I don't think the nurse was one of those girls, but I can't say anything for certain because I wasn't seeing it. But I know that the receptionist lady was one of them because I remember her voice. So I know she was one of them. And I just hear her say, I keep telling them we need to lock the doors when we already got patients. We need to lock the doors for people that aren't already patients for us, so we can serve the patients that we do gotta have with us and that we do gotta take care of. Like some shit like that. Like, we gotta lock the doors. We should only be serving the patients that are patients with us. We should only be serving the people that, and just she's complaining. She's complaining. She is complaining, and there's no other way to put this. I can't remember verbatim what she said. I will be honest. I cannot remember verbatim what she said. But just downright, it was complaining that I was there for pain in my face. Right? And I'm just thinking, like, Jesus, I'm sorry, bitch. I didn't know my pain inconvenienced you that much when there is no one else here in the office. Now, there was one other person that, again, maybe, I cannot say this for certain. There was at least one, there was a possibility that there was one other person in the office before I came in, and there was a possibility that someone else came in after I came in, because I did hear someone else in the office, a patient, but I did not see them when I left, so either they were there before, or they came in after and they got a room, and I never saw them because they got a room. Regardless of that fact, does not matter. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt in this situation. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say that there was another patient there at the time when I came in, right? That doesn't excuse, you know, you doing all your girl talk and me waiting for you for 2 minutes at the reception desk. That doesn't excuse the fact that I have horrible tooth pain, and you could see noticeably that my face is swollen, and you are complaining about the fact that I'm here. And oh, I'm so sorry I was never a patient with you before. I would have went to the other urgent care that I've went to many times and have had great success with. They've been able to treat me very many times of various different reasons for valid, very successful things. I'm sorry I didn't go there instead. I didn't mean to inconvenience you. I would have went there, but they're closed. Right? And here you are, open for another 2 hours, complaining that maybe that there's 2 people here, right? Oh, we gotta lock the door. First of all, who are you to say that? Nobody. You're a receptionist. You're not a nurse. You're a receptionist. Who are you to say we gotta lock the doors for people who aren't already with us? For people that didn't, like, make an appointment or something? I don't even know what she was trying to say about that. Because I don't remember, like I said, verbatim her words, but I know, you know, she was complaining. So I don't know what the point was she was trying to make when she was saying that, but it was just complaining, and who are you, a receptionist, to say we gotta lock the doors of our urgent care for people that aren't already with us? You are an urgent care. Do you understand that, sweetie? Like, what the fuck? So I'm pissed off right now. I'm filling out this paperwork, pissed the fuck off at this complaining from this receptionist that I already didn't care for too much, right? And the thing is, like, it was just, honestly, my only problem with that whole urgent care experience was that, well, no, actually, second that, we'll get to it. But yes, nurse comes back in, no complaints with her whatsoever, very, very lovely woman, she helped me out great, you know, she answered all my questions, she was very good, no complaints with her. She gives me this shot of Toradol, she's saying, oh, this shit's really strong, it's like it knocked me out, but you're not getting a dose that's high enough to knock you out. So I'm like kind of freaking out because of how strong she's describing this thing. But ultimately, it didn't do anything that's, you know, that strong. It didn't knock me out. The pain stopped for a good chunk of while. But like it was not, like she said, the dose they gave me was not that strong. So I'm like, cool, great. But it, you know, just her saying it like that, it kind of freaked me out a tiny bit. So she gives me that shot, and by the way, at the point she gives me that shot, still have not had the time to fill out all the paperwork. So literally, even after she gave me that shot, I'm just in that room still filling out paperwork, and that's the last thing I'm doing, is I'm just filling out paperwork. Or no. I was still filling out paperwork, and I was trying to do it as fast as I could, and then they gave me the shot, like right after, like literally just like, they were basically waiting for me to fill out this paperwork that I had no time to fill out, because it was like I was kind of being rushed here. So they were basically waiting for me to fill it out, and then as soon as I did, they made me sign a paper, a consent form, and I got the shot of Toradol. And then we left, and I cursed in the car with my dad about this receptionist that was complaining, and it was a big pain of shit. But I tell him, you know, hey, so I asked if they could go to this one, but they were closed. I asked, is this one open, but they're also closed, so we're just gonna have to, they gave me a shot of Toradol, we're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow to pick it up. And he says, there's a pharmacy right down the street, they're open all night. You could have got it sent there. And I'm like, well, shit. I wish I knew that before, but I didn't. But regardless, we got Well, no, I'll explain that part of the story later. If we even get there. This episode is almost so... Well, not almost, but, you know. So, that's what happened the rest of Friday. That whole experience. Now let's get to Saturday. Saturday, I wake up. And mind you, I've got... and we went out and bought ibuprofen. So I had some ibuprofen, I had some acetaminophen. Oh, give me 1 second. Getting a call from my dentist. Hold on. Okay, chat. Sorry about that. Had to answer the call for the dentist and a bunch of other stuff too. But we're back. Let's see if I remember where I left off here. When we last left off, I think I was talking about what happened the rest of Friday. Now, Saturday is where things get interesting. And frankly, I don't know if I'm even going to have enough time this episode to explain what happened Saturday. But let's just get into it and not waste any more time, right? Saturday, I wake up, and my face is swollen bad. Like, really bad, because you have to remember I couldn't pick up the prescriptions that urgent care had given me. I couldn't pick them up, right? So the only thing I was taking was ibuprofen. And that didn't really, I mean, ultimately it did nothing, ultimately in the end. But, you see, I woke up, my face was swollen bad. It's gotten to the point where it reaches my eye, right? The eye on that side of my face, it reaches my eye, and my eye is still swollen pretty bad even now. Much less than before, but again, we'll get to that. So, I wake up and my face is swollen as hell, and I go out to the room and I look at my dad and I say, hey, you need to go pick those up now. And he's like, no, I don't. You need to go to the ER right now. So that's what we do. We go to the ER, the emergency room, and that was a 5-hour experience, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 6-hour experience, because it's, you know, you're gonna wait long in an ER and shit like that, but it is what it is. I have no complaints about anyone there. They all did their job perfectly. They were all, and medical workers, you know, just respect them, okay? Just respect them, because they are working hard, and everyone there was very kind, very professional. Yeah, it took us like 6 hours to get some shit done, right? But that's what it is. It's an emergency room. There was someone else in there that had cut their finger with a hedge trimmer, and I'm expecting to be seen first before them? No, of course not. You know? So anyways, all that aside, because we don't have much time, so I can't share as much as I was planning on. But, I get in there, we tell them, hey, this is what's going on, they check my thing, and it's like, okay, blood pressure, all that, everything else is normal, you're looking normal, we'll get you back in a little bit. Now, of course, it wasn't a little bit, but they get me back there, they say, okay, so your face is swelling pretty bad, you probably have a tooth... No, they didn't diagnose me at this point. They didn't diagnose me. That happened much later. But they're like, your face is swelling really bad. We're going to get you in for a CAT scan, but right now, to stop that swelling, I'm going to give you 2 things. I'm going to give you Toradol, which I already took from the day prior. I'm going to give you some Toradol to stop with the pain, and I'm going to give you this thing called, and I might be butchering the name here, Decadrone? I'm going to give you that, and it's a steroid, and it's also going to help... The Toradol is going to help stop the pain, and a little bit with the swelling. The Decadrone is going to stop the swelling a lot, alright? And I'm like, cool, that's fine. Hit me with it. And then, as she's giving me the Decadrone, she says, oh, and by the way, this is going to give you, like, a slight burning sensation for about 2 minutes. You're going to feel this burning sensation in your crotch. It's a very weird side effect. It's normal. It happens with everyone. But just don't worry too much about it. And I'm like, okay. I am worried about it, but I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, fine. If it happens with everyone and if it's normal, okay, fine. I really wasn't worried about it until they give it to me, and then they're like, all right, cool, we'll send you out to the waiting room, we'll get you that CAT scan, you should be good. I'm like, all right, great. Then we go out to the waiting room, and oh, there it is. There it is. I start to feel the burning, and it's burning in my crotch, and it's not like, oh, that's a little warm. No, it's painful. It's a painful, stinging, burning. And then I notice, hey, wait a minute, it's not just in my crotch either. It's in my chest now. And I'm walking back to the chair in the waiting room, and I just slump down in the chair. It's like I'm barely able to walk. I just slump down in the chair, and then when I get in the chair, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, it's not just burning in my chest, it's burning even in, like, my throat. Huh, that's a bit weird. And then the next thing I know, 2 minutes has gone by, and I'm in some other fucking room, right? Because I passed out. Because that Decadrone, whatever it is, they gave me that shit, and it just, as I'm walking back to the waiting room, the pain in the burning, it's just, boom, it just hits me. And I wasn't even like, it's not like I was nervous or anything, it just hit me. It just hit me. And I slump down in this chair, and then I just have this sensation, like, I need to take a nap. Like, I'm gonna take a nap now. And then I wake up very briefly, and there's a guy around me, and he's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the next thing I remember is people are, and I don't even really remember it that well, because like I said, I passed out, but I somehow got into a wheelchair, then they rolled me back to, like, the emergency room, the big emergency room, and I'm just laying down and just kind of out of it. And I'm only, mind you, I'm only passed out for about 2 minutes. It's not very long at all. But apparently I was shaking. I was like, it was not good. It was not good, right? I was shaking, and I remember when I woke up finally in that bed, again, only 2 minutes have passed, but when I woke up, and this is the concerning part, because like I said, only 2 minutes have passed, and I wake up, and I am pissing sweat. Just sweating profusely from the face, right? Turns out what had happened is the drug had some kind of negative effect on me, and they said this is a thing that can happen. It happened to someone yesterday. It's also very common, which I believe them. In fact, there's no reason not to believe them. I know they wouldn't lie to me because they're actually medical professionals. But that does not comfort me, you know what I mean? But yeah, completely normal thing that can happen. It happened to someone yesterday. What happened was, I guess from the pain and from my nervous system not adjusted to the pain, it just shut down. I went from a blood pressure of like 130 to whatever, to a blood pressure of 80 to whatever in the matter of 2 minutes. And I'm sweating profusely from the face. And it's going bad. But yeah, so that was a fucking horrifying experience. I would go into more detail about it, but I can't. We don't have the time. Maybe I will on one of the streams one day, whenever I stream again. I might stream Thursday, I don't really know. A lot of crazy shit going on. But needless to say, and I'll tell you much more about this when I do stream, or maybe on another episode of this, I don't know. But needless to say, I passed out, it was fucking horrifying, and it was awful. It was awful. But I recovered. And, you know, it wasn't nothing bad. It was like, this is just a thing that can happen sometimes. You know, you're not in danger. It can happen. But it was fucking the scariest thing that has ever happened to me in my life, because I have never passed out before, ever, in my life. And I just wake up, and I have no idea how I got to this room, you know? So if that... And I pray that none of you ever need to take Decadrone. just ever. But yeah, eventually I get my CAT scan. When I get my CAT scan, the lady's like, so when we turn the contrast on for this, you're gonna get this sensation like you're peeing your pants, but I promise you're not. And I'm like, oh, okay. And this was not painful, I want to say. This was not like the Decadron at all. But that is a way to describe it, because it was correct. It felt like I was peeing my pants for some reason, and I was not. That is exactly how to describe it. It was like I was being microwaved, and then I was peeing my pants. But that's... I did not pee my pants, but it felt like I was, so it was a very bizarre experience getting the CAT scan. Long story short, not nearly as bad as the Decadron, believe me. Long story short, I got a tooth abscess. I'm going to see my dentist in a couple of weeks. I got some really heavy antibiotics that I gotta take, like really heavy. And also, like, literally heavy, because I almost choked on them today, because it's a lot of them, and they are big. The swelling in my face has gone down very significantly. My cheek is back to normal. It was awful. It was awful. But my cheek is mostly back to normal. My eye is still a problem. My eye is still swollen pretty bad. But everything else is fine, and I can talk normally again, which I kind of really wasn't able to yesterday, but I'm doing better, right? I'm doing better. Still need to get checked out by a dentist, and I gotta wait... What day is today? I gotta wait 9 days before I can get seen by a dentist, so that sucks. But, hey, it is what it is, you know, you do what you gotta do. I'm fine. I'm feeling better. I got heavy drugs. A lot of scary shit happened. There was some more interesting stuff that happened at the ER, and, you know, I can go into more detail about that another day, maybe during one of the live streams. And hey, good incentive for you to go check out the stream channel if you haven't already. Yeah, that's the end of my story. So now let's just watch as me from the past wants to set up symmetry even though I won this round. Let's just watch that, I guess. Thanks for sticking around for this episode if you made it this long. I'm sorry I was doing a lot of ranting and raving about my tooth experience, but I feel like that's, you know, something interesting you might want to hear about. Oh, and... here's the kicker. This is the part I forgot to add. I mentioned this earlier. You remember how I said that the urgent care gave me 3 things, right? There was lidocaine, there was penicillin, and there was something else, right? Well, when we went to pick up the prescriptions that I got from the ER, they said, just cancel the ones that the urgent care gave you, because these ones are better. You don't need the other ones. And I'm like, alright, cool. When we went to pick up the prescriptions that I got from the ER, they also had only one of the other ones ready, the ones from the urgent care. They had one. So they only called in the one, and the one that they called in was the lidocaine, which wasn't even the penicillin, which is, you know, penicillin, which is probably what would have been the most useful one to have, but that urgent care didn't want to call in the penicillin. So, and they only called in the lidocaine, that's it. That's the only one that they called in. So yeah. Not going back to that urgent care anymore. What a fucking awful experience. They didn't even call in the prescriptions that they gave me. They called in one of them, and it was the lidocaine, and I think that, if I remember correctly, and I'm not a professional, so I could be wrong, but I think that's like the most useless one out of the 3 that they prescribed me, is the lidocaine. So yeah, what an experience. Anyways, we got about a minute left here, chat. Thanks for listening to my crazy ranting and my crazy story. I am going to maybe record another episode of this today, I don't really know. But yeah, have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are. Have a good life. Oh yes, at the end of this episode, I check out, look at this. Watch this. These are some crazy-ass plants. They look like straight-up mechs, alright? Like, these are insane. Holy shit. This is what we're gonna have to deal with in the future of this game. This is batshit insane. So yeah, look forward to dealing with more of that. I haven't seen it yet, but holy shit. So yeah, have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are, have a good life. And thanks so much for watching and you know, helping me through all this in these trying times. Goodbye.